Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel. Whether you're new or you're coming back, thank you so much for joining me. Happy weekend. And if you can see, I got a little bit of a new a little bit of a change to my setting here, and I'm actually gonna do this. Ta-da! I was at the arcade this week with a group of friends, and this is the price that I got for my tickets. I'm also a little sick, so I apologize in advance for doing this. It's probably gonna happen more than once, unfortunately. And it's one of the reasons I didn't do a reading yesterday, because it was worse. But anyway, so I've got this thing that I actually wanted for a while, maybe not exactly this version, but you know, this idea of being able to do some messages, for it to be lit up, all this stuff. And the other side is just for like writing something up with a marker. So, and I was thinking like, okay, I definitely want to do something for you guys here. And I started thinking of like a phrase, Happy Easter, which is in Western tradition. It's in the Catholic and similar streams of Christianity. It's happening tomorrow. So I was like, okay, Happy Easter, maybe Friday. When I was thinking of reading, I thought I'll say Happy Friday. And then I confused myself with like how much sense it makes, especially since you guys are all over the world. I'm not even in that religion anyway. Like, if anything, Ukrainians are mostly Orthodox, and our Easter is happening 5th of May. So I decided just to leave it at happy. And then 21-4 is a magical combination, but I'm not gonna say just yet what it is. If somebody guesses though correctly, I'll give you something. It'll be a giveaway. Either I'll do a reading, or it might actually be a physical prize. We'll see. I'll think about it. That will be probably more relevant for the coming 2 or 3 weeks. So start thinking. And this is gonna be a quick check-in, which I already haven't started as a quick check-in, so let's just get on with it. So the oracle card for Divine Feminines is the Leaf. Strange encounters. I don't think I've ever gotten this card in this deck, so I'm just gonna quickly see what the divination message is for this one. Meeting people who are very unlike people you met before. Mystic events and peculiar experiences. Interacting with different cultures, customs, and belief systems. Mystical encounters with elemental beings who interact with you, finding they're just as real as you are. Discovering new places, environments, even climates that are different to any you have experienced before. Something unusual that is most decidedly as real as you are. So take it how it resonates for you, but yeah, stay open-minded and know that it's there to enrich your experience and to widen your horizons, to expand your consciousness. And I feel like being a world traveler, I feel like this is one of the great benefits of doing that. And yes, like being an earth sign, a Taurus, like more or less conservative, growing up and just general as a person, it took me some time to get used to it, like to really fall into it and enjoy without being scared and concerned about 1,000 things, especially if you're going to a different climate, different culture, different environment, especially if you're there by yourself. But you know what? Yeah, I mean, I know like 12 years later I'm there. But no, I'm just joking. But essentially what I'm trying to say is that when you get into this like contrasting environment, or meet people that you're not used to being with or meeting, that definitely causes a kind of like it stimulates you maybe first as a stress factor, but it definitely expands you. It helps you grow. It helps you see things different. It's almost like that Hangman card, but a more adrenaline infused version of it. For masculines, we have number 22. So both of them come down to 4, just saying. We had 31 and 22. Set your course. Know where you wish to go. Have a plan, the right direction. So masculines have been asked to set themselves up for success, to understand where they want to go, to be very mindful of that. Know where you wish to go in this life. Set goals, write a wish list of accomplishments. Realizing that to bring your dreams into reality, you need to know what it is you want to do, be, or create. The refusal to be flawed any longer. Strike out in the best direction for you. Beautiful, I like it. So number 4, as I was saying, like both of the numbers come down to 4. It's about setting the foundation, right? It's like, okay, so I'm just gonna clear this up. Let's say, yeah, you had like, I'm imagining like the game was a sand where you're like making figures, or it can even be a whiteboard where you've been writing for a while, right? Like scribbling some notes like here and there. And at this point in time, you're deciding, okay, I'm just gonna wipe it all off and start clean with the vision in my head, right? Not like randomly anymore, but I know what I want to do, and I'm gonna use this space to create my plan, to see how to make it happen. As we see, King of Cups falling out right away. Bottom of the deck, the Wheel of Fortune. Yep. So that's the integral part of the journey, right? Especially for twins. I feel like for twins, it's even more exaggerated than for other people. Or, sorry, for light workers. Let's put it that way. Well, on the one hand, we need to exercise our free will and actually decide and understand what we want to do next, why. But also be open to that X factor, to that Wheel of Fortune aspect of the journey where we may be directed, somewhat course corrected on the way from what our plan originally was, which is fine, it's just to our benefit. Speaking of which, yeah, we have the devil here, right? Like, it can be taken very different ways. Some people may decide, oh, maybe it's not for me, and immediately, right? Like, if it's not happening the way I planned, I'm just not gonna do it, right? But this is when it's especially important to use that inner discernment to get that clear tingling inside. Like, is this really, say, not for you, and maybe didn't feel that good in the first place, and maybe I came up with this plan because it wasn't really my plan, or it's actually something I believe in. The reason I wanted to do it this way was because, but you know what, I can still make it work, because the main thing, like the core of it, still stays, even with this new information, with this new circumstances, with this event, right? Like, I can still make it happen. It's just not gonna look the same, but that's the divine way to guide me, right? Beautiful. We have, for the feminines, we have King of Cups and Queen of Cups. So this is, first of all, the connection of the feminine and masculine, this sensitive side of it, really, right? Like, going deep into it, like still staying balanced within giving and receiving, love, emotion, nurture, but like actually almost like flowing. This is the water energy, flowing in the side of it, right? Enjoying it fully, giving it to yourself first of all, and then being ready to share this, the cup, the flow, like share the swim, if you wish, with people who are close to you. On the other hand, of course, it's also this floating interaction between the masculine and the feminine, the divine counterparts. So whatever your technique, whatever your practice is right now to come back to heart, to be more in touch with your feelings and emotions, and to elevate that experience for yourself, just know that it immediately translates to your masculine. And that's the healing, and that's the jolt of energy and inspiration that I get immediately. Like, it's a very quick loop here. Beautiful. For masculines, we have the Magician, clarified by Queen of Swords. And even the Magician has a very long and big sword here. Very swordy energy, which kind of stands because these swords are air, and air is a masculine element. But what's important is that masculines are being very decisive and very, very clear on what they want to manifest. Remember, we used to get those cards where words create worlds. This is it, exactly. And that's what they're doing in this Magician energy. But they want to be very clear, and they want their communication to reflect the desires and the goals, right? They don't want to be pleasing people anymore. They don't want to be saying the right thing just because this person expects that, or because I don't want to cause confrontation. They want to be truthful in the way they lead life, they do life, compared to what they think, and and also what they say to people, right? They want this to match. They don't want to be remembered. Like when you're telling lies to someone, like you're supposed to remember that lie and then be like, okay, so when I'm talking to this person, I'm telling this side of a story. For this person is this version, right? Like, it's a lot of work, and it stresses us out, whether we realize it or not. Seriously, true story. So masculine's like, okay, I'm done with all that. Like, you like this, you want to hear that, and I care about you, so I'm supposed to go with what you want here. Not doing that anymore. Needs to align with my inner truth. If it does, happy days. Let's enjoy this experience together. If not, sorry, maybe some other time. Additional question: 8 of Cups clarified by 5 of Cups. But they look pretty close to me. Yeah, so this is like sadness about walking away from something. So what are the feminine said about leaving behind at this time? 7 of Cups, 7 of Wands. See, look at all the sevens. It's like said about feeling like you have all the options in the world, like the world is your oyster. But this is like the shadow side of it. How to explain this? Where you feel like you can just decide and go for it. Like, this is not taking into account the mission and purpose, the divine alignment, those things. It's just like, whatever, I'm gonna do whatever. Also not taking into account other people, and again, how do I put this? Not being like people pleasing, but also not going to another extreme where you don't really care about other people's feelings or what's gonna happen to them as a result of the story, right? Like, finding that balance and that medium is key. And that's why feminines are working away from this reality where they would just go for something because they felt strong enough, they felt smart enough, they felt like, why not? Almost like challenging themselves and life itself. Like, I can do this, why not? And then it would come back or ricochet at them and not end very well. For masculines, it's 10 of Swords clarified by 5 of Wands. So masculines are walking away from getting too impacted and too beaten down by what other people say, think, and do. Like, especially if you have expectations and if they do something completely different, right? Like it immediately destroys them, right? Like that codependent attachment, that's what they're leaving behind. Thank you, helping me use the words. So the healthy attachment still means that you exist as a whole personality within your own rights. And if something happens with the person next to you, and I mean more like they don't want to be in your life anymore, or they make some decisions where you'll like understand that you two are not aligned, right? Like, something happens that there is a risk that they're gonna disappear from your life. It doesn't destroy you, right? Or they say something that goes against what you believe or against your feelings, and you're destroyed then. And it takes you, I don't know, a week or a month to get over it. Let's say if you have a fight, right? Let's call it that way. It's probably easier for people to understand what I'm talking about. They hurt your feelings. It takes you a very long time to recover. Now it's like, okay, yeah, I understand. Like, I can assess this situation more truthfully. I'm walking away from just completely diving into it and completely getting destroyed, right? I'm gonna keep my boundary, and I'm gonna use my, sensible assessment of what's happening within me, within that person, and between us. 3 factors here. How the feminines feeling towards the connection. 4 of Pentacles clarified by Queen of Wands. So feminines know that they still have work to do in terms of expressing themselves in a healthy way, in a true, trusting, loving connection. And that's what they're working on, to show up as the Queen of Wands in its light form, the wise, the beautiful, the talented, right? The charming, like that charisma to come out, that can really show who they are, not to Not to play games and not to conquer the DM, if it makes sense. Also not being too closed off and careful, but in their natural, beautiful essence. Our masculine's feeling, 801's clarified by the Lovers. Masculines really want to have a conversation about next steps and about life together. They know that this is so grand that, like, for a while it took them time to get their head around this concept at all. Like, this person is not, like, I'm not gonna get over this person, right? Like, it's not just gonna be, it wasn't just a fling that passed by and I'm moving on with my life and they're moving with theirs, right? Like, this is here to stay. Like, that took time to get their head around it, to accept it, to be honest with themselves. And now that they have done that, now the next step is, let's be honest with each other. If we both feel this way, that this is real, this is true, this is, again, divinely supported and orchestrated, this is destined, let's talk about it. Let's get into more specifics, like, how's that gonna work out in real life, in physical life? Not in our dreams, not in our fantasies, but just between us as two people. They want to talk. They want to get down to business and, well, create a plan. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I love you all, and I'll be back with more readings very, very soon. We have Mercury retrograde hitting us on Monday, so tomorrow we're gonna talk more about it. And in the meantime, if you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I love you all.